and we're getting started with Towers of Doom. Gardening is so nice. Like, you can have an aesthetically pleasing exterior to your home, and you can get food out of it? That's so cool, dude. And it really just gets you... I feel like you would feel a deeper appreciation for nature when you specifically go out and try and cultivate it and get a deeper understanding and level of work for it. As we go into Towers of Doom right here, we've seen a ton of Sylvanas bans, including on Towers of Doom today. I wonder if we're going to see more of the same as Oxygen takes away Hogger right there. Another common usual suspect I was going to say is Lucio. They even beat me to it right there. Lucio, a near permanent ban in Masters Clash so far. And when he's not banned, you usually see him picked up. There is the Sylvanas as well, an evergreen ban in at least this weekend. An escalated sense of priority for Sylvanas lately over her competitors, one of the stronger assassins in the entire game. Junkrat, another assassin that seems to do nearly everything, is also going to go ahead and get banned out right there. Oxygen really mulling over their options for what they have available, and this is going to be a Blaze first pick. We saw this the last two games with Wubby picking up Blaze first pick. Copenhagen keeping the trend alive right here, picking it up for himself. Blaze naturally has this interesting dynamic as an offlaner when it comes to ganks in terms of being very, very tanky, but also very body blockable. So if you feel like you can body block him forever, then you can go through that whole health bar. But weighing out when to gank Blaze, certainly always an option. Always something you gotta think about as Muranas picks up the Dehaka and Pipo Shy Uwu gonna be playing that Hanzo. Hanzo, a pretty classic pick always on this map, and I gotta say, I enjoy playing Hanzo into Blaze. I enjoy playing Hanzo into any frontline who's relatively easy to safely auto-attack. Meanwhile, Bad Benny with those blinds potentially gonna prevent Hanzo from getting that cooldown reduction on his scatter arrow, prevent that massive damage output. Brightwing picked up by Yasu as well, picking up an early global and a strong healer. Hammer is just always getting banned versus Oxygen. Sometimes it's the first bans, sometimes it's the third ban, but Oxygen, a permanent threat to run that Hammer, even when seemingly nobody else does. Nick known for playing it extremely often on the Storm League ladder, and Hasuwab's also a gifted Hammer player as well. And when you have two different players that can play Sergeant Hammer, you're at an extremely frequent threat to pick it up, because that means that you have an extremely high number of drafts that can flex into the Sergeant Hammer pick. Shizaka going to be picking up the Diablo, notably Tychus still available if Oxygen decides to go that route. No Game No Life picking up Rhaegar. Oh no, I just saw in the chat from last series, can't say granite without ranite? Oh no. As now Oxygen picking up their final picks of this series right here. What are we going to say? Tychus, there it is. Always a classic response into the Diablo, and with Imperius being picked up by Nick, this is a flex Imperius, and I gotta say, that Medivh pick by Limu makes a lot of sense. This would have been an absolute slaughterhouse of just permanently farming the Diablo if that Medivh had not been picked up right there, especially if his only heals are going to be Rhaegar, who's not particularly adept at saving teammates from getting bursted, especially before level 10. This Medivh pick is crucial for keeping the Diablo alive in spite of the pressure that they're going to face from Tychus Imperius. Tychus Imperius is built to shred tanks. I think this Medivh might actually kind of hard counter what Oxygen is going to do. They are very telegraphed in who they're going to try to burst, And a simple force of will, well placed by Limu, can go a very long way towards shutting down the core identity of what Oxygen's going to try and do this game. As we now go into game number 1 of Rage Quit Gaming versus Oxygen Esports. Both teams playing their second game of the day today. Let's load right on in on the left side of your screen. On the left side of your screen for Rage Quit Gaming. We have Shizaki playing Diablo, Muranas on the Dahaka, Limu playing Medivh, Peeposhai Uwu on the Hanzo, No Game No Life on Rehgar. On the right side, we have Hasuwabs playing Tychus, 19cm on Blaze. Bad Benny playing Johanna, Nick aka Hans on that Imperious, and Yasu playing Brightwing.
Well, what are you waiting for?
Fairly typical picks right here early on. Always expect to see a burn the Impure whenever a team wants to shred the tanks. I'm just curious to see exactly how that's going to play out specifically into the Medivh matchup for the members of Oxygen. Medivh, of course, anytime you're in a level 1 fight, always going to try to pick up as many stacks of that Arcane Flare as he can. I actually think Arcane Flare is, wow, I was going to say Arcane Flare is actually the Brightwing Q instead of the Medivh Q, and that is, in fact, an Arcane Rift is Medivh's Q, but a very, very quick first blood picked up by Oxygen. Medivh looking for those stacks in the level 1 fight as predicted, but immediately getting punished for it. Oxygen seeking to cut off the rotations of Rage Quit Gaming forces the members of Rage Quit into an extremely long rotation around their sapper camp rather than directly through the mid lane. And now Oxygen with the clear rotational priority taking out mid before the members of Rage Quit can do so. Yasu with a bit of a cheeky interrupt on Limu's mount up right there. And the members of Oxygen going to get started with Bruiser Camp just a couple seconds ahead of Rage Quit Gaming right here. Oxygen now taking out their sapper camp. I doubt this is going to lead to an invade, but we still have Copenhagen here just in case. Hans now stepping up. Ooh, there's the jet propulsion from Copen, not connecting, but the spear does. And some more arcane rifts coming out from Medivh, but nobody gonna die just quite yet. That's an aggressive portal from the members of Rage Quit Gaming. Instantly a double spear from Nick. I didn't think he even had the angle, but somehow landing it right there. Big damage onto the side of Rage Quit Gaming. And so far the Medivh pick not giving them a ton of trouble. Rage Quit Gaming, though, now losing their sapper camp as Oxygen pushes forward with level 4 advantage in this bottom lane. All three of the sappers able to connect into the bottom wall of Rage Quit Gaming. This is not how they would have preferred to start the game. Aggressive portal on the rotation is not able to find Hasuwabs, who will back off. And Copenhagen, I'm so used to Wubby playing on this Blaze after 2 straight games of it. Copenhagen taking out the sapper camp in the top lane rather than looking to fully double soak right there. This will of course necessitate Hasuwabs rotating up to catch the soak, and this is actually a Hans gank on the top lane. Meanwhile, yep, this is a Hans gank on the top lane, a stab into jet propulsion. Muranas taking a lot of damage, Lurker Strain buying him a little bit of safety. Hans looking for the damage as well, lands yet another stab into another jet propulsion combo. The gank is successful, Nick getting it off, taking out that Dahaka right there. 2 kills to nothing in favor of Oxygen. Well played by Oxygen so far in this early game. Nick securing this top altar. Meanwhile, Bad Benny getting the stall. Shizaki with the flip combo onto Johanna, but of course it is a Johanna, not too much damage. Hasu just shredding through Shizaki's health bar though, as Tychus is liable to do anytime he's against a Diablo. Limu is finally on the scene. Will get 1 stall onto Yasu at the moment, but is forced to portal on out of there. Jet propulsion not gonna land on Limu. Oxygen would have loved to reset Medivh stacks right there, and now here is a stab onto Shizaki, who is getting zoned out. Yasu looks, yep, there it is. Yasu going to get another altar. 2 for 1 in favor of Oxygen. Level 7 secured. Wow, that was an instantaneous cleanse by No Game No Life off of the Nick stab onto Shizaki. Force of Will is used. Tychus's minigun as well starting to wear off right there. Level 7 about to be achieved by the members of Rage Quit Gaming, and dude, Nick cannot miss with these spears, continually landing them over and over. Both teams have their level 7. Oxygen once again starting with their Sapper Camp about the same time as Rage Quit Gaming. Getting a little bit of damage on it. For a second, they were worried about a potential invade. Limu permanently on that scout. That's always going to be a problem whenever you're against a Medivh. The enemy team will always know what you're doing thanks to those map hacks. And now Bad Benny rotating down. That's a portal out from Limu, not wanting to get in there, knowing the damage pressure and the CC chains available to the members of Oxygen. Both teams looking to control the sappers, but again, the members of Oxygen just able to get a clear advantage in bot lane on these sappers yet again, instantly clearing out those on the side of Rage Quit while keeping their own alive. Hasu just absolutely hitting Diablo. Diablo not able to get into the spear as soon as he'd want thanks to a timely Nick spear, and sappers yet again about to make it in. Two of them do explode on the tower, third sapper makes it all the way to fort. So far, Oxygen has captured 2 sapper camps, and of those 2 sapper camps, all 6 sappers have made it onto the objective, onto the structures of Rage Quit Gaming. Rage Quit also has captured 2 sappers, and not a single one has made it onto Oxygen structures. Shizaki taking lots of damage from Hasu will receive the Force of Will. Nick actually landing the deep spear onto Hanzo will not lead to anything just quite yet, as this is a temporary 5v4, but now here comes Copenhagen, out-rotated by the Dahaka, but it didn't lead to anything just quite yet. Nick is just landing double spears on CD this game. Absolutely crazy, as the members of RQG are forced to portal on out of there. They would have loved to pressure with the Dahaka 5v4, but just not able to turn it into a lead, and this is a Wrath of Anguirus pulling Diablo right into the middle of his team. Nick just setting the dinner plate for Hasuwabs, absolutely feeding him everything he wants. And this is an Odin. While Oxygen has level 10 advantage in this bottom lane right here, Odin utilized to secure first bell tower of the game after getting so many sapper camps. That's an aggressive stab onto Limu. Emerald Wind attempted to use to probably push Medivh away from a portal, but Yasu, of course, now does not have Blink Heal to try to get out. Rehgar still gonna fall in the backline. Pipo Shai Uwu is next. Oxygen 5 kills to 0, fresh off a double kill. Oxygen is in form tonight, absolutely doing what they can. They swept 2-0 earlier today, and this is looking like a solid game 1 versus RQG, already taking first bell tower of the game about 6.5 minutes in, and Copenhagen able to take another top sapper camp as well. The pressure, Oxygen winning literally the entire map all the time. Both teams now on their sapper camps yet again, this time RQG with a slight timing advantage in theirs. We will see if RQG can get their first sapper camp of the game to actually detonate on the structures of Oxygen, as Copenhagen is in mid lane. Rage Quit Gaming looking to capture their bell tower back, but that's another double stun by Nick. It does get interrupted by Limu's Emerald Wind though, and that's a Dragon Strike from Hanzo. Not quite what you see every day right there. This whole fight is happening under the stolen bell tower of Oxygen. Oxygen just able to get so much extra damage contribution, and the perfect decision to fight under that bell tower right there to blessed shield the members of Rage Quit Gaming underneath that fort, so the fort contributed so much extra damage. Yasu getting the polymorph, stalling Limu from being able to get inside that portal. Muranas going to get interrupted on this attempted capture right here, and now Oxygen still maintaining pressure in this bottom side of the map. Muranas and Copen both attempting to take this top left altar here on Towers of Doom, as the rest of the teams now start to form up in. Copenhagen receiving the phase shift from Yasu. Yasu somehow polymorphed Diablo out of the shadow charge that would have wallbanged him. What excellent self-peel. Wrath of the Anguirus comes out onto Rehgar, who receives a very quick Force of Will, but it doesn't matter because everybody else is the kill target. Pipo Shai Uwu and Dahaka both falling. Another double kill for Oxygen Esports, who now lead the way 8 kills to 0. Nick fishing for an aggressive spear, does not find it. And I gotta say, guys, you always see me on stream. I'm always talking about Imperius as a offlaner, and you need to be picking him as a DPS, and you see Oxygen come out here and pick him as a DPS, and they are working wonders with it right here. 36 core HP to 17, well played by Oxygen, who have a level 13 talent advantage. 13 going to be achieved here soon for the members of Rage Quit Gaming. Top Sappers now respawning as Murinos and Copenhagen both look at it. Murinos maybe not aware that Yasu was there, but spots him out in the bush. And this is going to be an easy Top Sapper camp in favor of the members of Oxygen. And of course, sending Yasu as the person that rotates up to it on that Bright Wing means that Oxygen didn't even lose pressure in the bottom side of the map because, of course, that was a global that they put up there. And now Rage Quit Gaming with a bit of an awkward rotate as they walked up to top but weren't able to find anything. They need to find an equal talent tier fight if they can while this is 13 to 15, but Oxygen not giving Rage Quit Gaming anything just quite yet. Rage Quit now going for the invade on enemy sappers, knowing Oxygen would rather wait for level 16 to fight them, and Oxygen going to let them 100% have that. Rage Quit now with their first successful invade of sappers of the game. Oxygen is perfectly content, of course, to wait for level 16, and there's Shizakid solo stunning Nick. The Nick response stab not going to land onto him. Shizakid now backing off. Level 16 just about to be achieved. There it is for the members of Oxygen, who should now easily be able, with this advantage, to pressure onto this objective. Rage Quit Gaming, despite being down level 16 though, still fully wants to play for this. They know they can't really contest anything at this point in the game. Hans going for that capture on the bottom side, will be able to secure bottom altar, so there's just middle altar left, and Johanna nearly solo killing Hanzo in the backline. Forces out the ancestral healing. Leyline seal is used. Level 16 advantage is still very much a thing here. Dragon Strike connects onto absolutely nobody of Oxygen Esports, but Murinos dragging Johanna through the Diablo Lightning Breath, picking up Rage Quit Gaming's first kill of the game. Hans is in here in the backline getting melted, dies at about the same time as Diablo. A 2-for-1, a 3-for-1 in favor of Rage Quit Gaming, despite being down level 16, winning this fight. Medivh also has Master's Touch completed as well. All 40 Q hits coming out right here. Only 13 core HP remains for Rage Quit Gaming despite that very advantageous fight that they took just now. Hasuabs with a very positive damage trade into Limu, causing him to drop down to half. Rage Quit Gaming taking their own sappers. Limu gonna reset on out of there after losing that trade to Hasu on the Tychus. Gonna get his health and mana back, 1 up 100%. And with these sappers, Rage Quit Gaming going to try and get them in onto the structures of Oxygen. Very even hero damage counts between Hanzo and Tychus, notably so far right here. Oxygen now defending, waiting for Bad Benny. Nick not able to find the spear onto Shizakid, but here's Bad Benny. As soon as the engage, though, was searched for, there's the ley line into Dragon Strike. Again, a bit questionable Dragon Strike so far this game. Now Shizakid receives the Force of Will. Oh, Shizakid wants to get in the portal, but can't thanks to Lightning Breath, but will be okay. Pops the Lightning Breath and the Ancestral Healing. I'm actually meant to say thanks to Emerald Wind earlier, when Yasu pushed him away from his portal, but nobody actually going to go down just quite yet. And of course, if you take a 5v4 in bot lane, as Rage Quit Gaming just did without killing anybody, then you're losing elsewhere on the map, as now top lane has been secured by Blaze, who in fact even has a sapper actually pushing through, which will do 1 damage to the core of Rage Quit Gaming, bringing it down to 12. At this point, hypothetically, if Rage Quit Gaming loses all 3 of these objectives, they will lose the game. Here's Shizakid following up on the ley line, and now Dekwaza as well. Dekwaza was in last game. Here's Dahaka, actually Murinos playing it in the scene. 19 CM lands the jet propulsion, hopping right on out of the bunker. Odin is doing big damage as well. There's the spear onto Diablo, receives the Force of Will. Oh, Wrath of the Anguirus from Nick will not land. Oh, Busted Shield trying to buy him time to survive, but the phase shift actually gets interrupted, not able to save Nick's life. Rage Quit Gaming picking up a kill in this fight, and now the members of Oxygen trying to get on out of here. Murinos brushstalkering up towards the top objective to get the stall on it. Yasu now forced to walk away. A double kill for Rage Quit Gaming. Rage Quit is putting it together exactly when they need to. Oh, Murinos able to dodge Copenhagen's attempted jet propulsion stun. Isolation, however, will not land. Bad Benny now receiving a phase shift, and Oxygen down 2 members will not be able to contest this top right objective. We see Copenhagen looking for the stall over the wall, does not have the range with the flame stream, so he is forced to use his oil and light it instead. Is able to get an interrupt onto Pipo Shai Uwu, but not onto Muranos. Medivh capturing that bottom tower as well, that bottom altar, and Rage Quit Gaming has put this together exactly when they needed to. Things were starting to crumble for them, but able to win the last few fights once around these level 16 talents were achieved. And also I must point out that once we get into the ultra late game, Hanzo is going to start casting a lot more Dragon Strikes when he gets that Dragon Awakens and is able to start really spamming. Now Rage Quit Gaming taking their own sapper camp right here. Oxygen merely just respawning, trying to get everybody back into form, get everybody back into shape. Rage Quit Gaming sapper is going to be pushing out bottom fort right here. Still a top bell tower in favor of Oxygen. Rage Quit only having 2 bell towers. Stab goes out onto Shizaki, forcing out the Soul Shield. There is yet another Dragon Strike hitting nobody whatsoever, but it does split the members of Oxygen. Lightning Breath on the bunker. Copenhagen's gonna just waltz right on out of there. Nobody's dying just quite yet. Bad Benny walking out, heavy clump caused by the Condemn. Leyline Seal only hits onto Bad Benny. Phase Shift actually gets interrupted by Nick. Nick was going to receive a Phase Shift, but self-canceled it with the Wrath of the Anguirus, and he will go down as a result. Now Rage Quit Gaming picking up a kill as well. This is now 5v4 in favor of Rage Quit Gaming, who immediately aggress onto the Oxygen bottom bell tower. Each team back up to having 3 bell towers. Rage Quit Gaming portaling into the sapper camp of Oxygen to complete yet another successful invade, and what an unfortunate last fight for Oxygen. And now, fresh off that death, Nick will respawn after this next objective, and Oxygen just absolutely crumbling in the late game. Rage Quit Gaming has secured level 20s. Muranos looking at this top Sappers right here. Oxygen not able to finish him off. Sapper's going to be escorted right into bottom kill zone by Rage Quit Gaming. Oxygen, of course, has plenty of time to scale into level 20 right here. They still have a technical lead in core HP, although it's about to get evened up right here by Shizaki going for this cap. Shizaki does get interrupted, and Oxygen has secured level 20 talents. Still 16 to 12 HP in favor of Oxygen. That's going to be the big red button Odin coming out right there. Lasts about 34 seconds. And Dragon Strikes. Expect to see them spammed on CD. Hanzo going to get so much cooldown reduction this game. Shizaki taking a lot of damage in the meantime, as is Muranos, gets polymorphed. So much damage coming out. There's the Leyline Seal. Medivh cheats. Hits 4 members. Maybe all 5 of Oxygen, actually. And this is a bloodbath of damage, even if nobody's dying just quite yet. Wrath of the Anguirus separating out the Diablo, and Blaze is the first to fall. Wubby was last game. Nick hit yet another double spear, but this is a Dragon Strike 2-for-1 in favor of Oxygen so far. Shizaki is next, getting targeted by Hasuabs here in this fight. Murna stabbed by Nick to finish him off, and Rage Quit Gaming looked like they were in this third Dragon Strike of the team fight goes off. Rage Quit Gaming looked like they had it. But then once the 2020 fight rolled around, all of a sudden, Oxygen able to get it again, and that is a big stagger on the Diablo, but not actually, because Diablo had souls, so a souls reset, but still 3 members of Rage Quit Gaming down, and with that capture, the core of Rage Quit drops down to 7 HP. Now Oxygen invading once again onto Rage Quit's Sappers. So many invades this game. Each team invading each other so frequently. And now here is, oh, the Blessed Shield over the wall from the Sapper Camp area. Bad Benny into the mid fort. Blessed Shield over the wall. Sets up Nick for the kill on Pipo Shai. What a play by Bad Benny to look for that kill. And now Oxygen, out of nowhere, is setting up the 6 cap. Now Yasu coming in and healing up Bad Benny. Dude, I'm getting goosebumps after that play right there. What a play by Oxygen, setting up the 6 cap, and they're gonna start getting free shots at Rage Quit Gaming's core here soon. No, wait, no, they don't have the 6 cap because they don't have their own bottom bell tower, and by the time they secure it, Rage Quit Gaming will be able to take top left on back. That was nutty regardless, even if the 6 cap was not actually secured. Oxygen now taking their own Sapper camp as as well. Rage Quit Gaming working on taking their mid fort back. And Oxygen does not want to let it happen. They're going to go ahead and defend here while those sappers push out bottom, trying to go ahead and get any free shot that they can. If even one sapper makes it in, then a 6-shot objective would finish off the game right here. Boss going to respawn in 5 seconds, so if either team gets a significant number advantage after this fight, this could also mean a boss being captured as well. Oxygen now escorting their sappers, but they're going to go ahead and let them die in favor of simply securing position on this objective. Nick with the capture in the backline as the members of Oxygen zone for him in the moment. Nick looking like he's going to get it off, does successfully capture the objective. 6 shots onto the core of Rage Quit Gaming, bringing it down to just 1 as this fight breaks out. Now everybody trading hits back and forth. Hanzo is in the Odin yet again. That's so unfortunate for the members of Rage Quit, especially when you have such long-range interrupts in the form of Hanzo's Bullseye, in the form of Hanzo's Dragon Strike. Spear lands onto Dahaka, not able to find anything. Wrath of Anguirus actually onto Murnas, bringing him under towers, sets up the kill for Oxygen Esports. Oxygen now with the 5-on-4. I feel like they could simply force boss, and it looks like they may actually be considering it. And they are now still here by Rage Quit Gaming sappers. They will simply do them as soon as they spawn. And I feel like the play here is kill the sappers and then go rush boss. But here's actually the leyline steal. That's not a leyline steal, that's a leyline steal from Limu, but it leads to his immediate death. He takes the sappers, prevents Oxygen from stealing it, but dies in the process. And surely, with 5-on-3 post level 20, Oxygen has one thing on their mind, and that's capturing this boss and ending this game. Everybody knows it. No game, no life. Setting up right here. Nick missing the spear as he looks for it. Shizaka taking big damage by Hasu. The stun combo so huge. Going to finish off Shizaka. He's so tanky. Wait, all these flames actually keeping him alive, and it's really Peepo Shy Uwu. And there have been so many kills that Tychus has just now finished his Master Assassin, which requires 15 takedowns to finish. Shizaka trying to escape. Pops the lightning breath, will finally go down after much ado, and at this point, this is Oxygen's game to lose. Murnas lands the tongue out of the bush, Polymorph interrupts it. Tychus in that Odin, 2 members of Rage Quit Gaming still dead. Copenhagen with the deep capture of the objective. If either of these goes off, Oxygen wins the game. Murnas tries to interrupt it with ISO, but doesn't get it in time. Oxygen takes the game. Game 1 in favor of Oxygen. What a game. Woo! Woo! What was that, dude? Actually crazy right there. Oxygen looking so solid in the early game, starting to fall apart, but then, hey, they get to 20. They finally catch back up to Rage Quit Gaming after stumbling in the mid game and just absolutely popping off. Crazy stuff right there. Let's take a look at that post-game scoreboard as we have 1 game left in our day of casting. This is a best of 2, so we just have that one last game between Oxygen and Rage Quit right here. Oxygen looking to complete the sweep, Rage Quit looking to even things back up. What a series. I gotta say, I like the idea with Dragon Strike, but I question the combo a bit right here, as we had Leyline Seal as the setup, and then they tried to follow up on the Leyline Seal with Dragon Strike. But I feel like if you're going to play for that kind of wombo style off of the Medivh, it needs to be Apocalypse. The Diablo needs to be setting up, or rather receiving the setup from Leyline Seal and coming out of it with Apocalypse, and then the CC from Apocalypse resultingly holds the heroes of Oxygen inside the Dragon Strike. Instead, what we saw was a whole lot of zoning Dragon Strikes that are just kind of parting the Red Sea as all the members of Oxygen dodge them. And I can't help but feel like maybe if Shizaka goes Apocalypse and really invests into this wombo combo, maybe this game goes different. But Oxygen takes game 1 versus Rage Quit Gaming. I still can't believe that this player's actual name is Peepo Shy Uwu, and that's not like a smurf or anything. Like, I remember my very first day here, People were telling me like, oh, 19CM is Copenhagen, Hans is Nick. And I was like, okay, you know, we got some people on alternate names. Okay, I can work with that. Who's this Peepo Shy Uwu guy? And everyone in my chat was just like, no, that's just Peepo Shy Uwu. That's his name. And I was like, are you serious? Alrighty, we have lobby number 2 here in our final lobby of the day. Ooh, I don't think we've seen this map in our entire day so far here. We've seen 9 games so far. And in those 9 games, we have yet to see a match on Dragonshire. Dragonshire is going to be our final map of the day. This is chosen by Oxygen Esports after Rage Quit Gaming chose first pick after dropping game 1. Waiting to see if our teams are ready right here for Dragonshire. I'm excited for this, and I will say, chat, whenever you watch a team coached by Cavalier Guest play Dragonshire very consistently, they are going to play the 1-3-1 strategy. I don't think I've ever seen a team coached by Cavalier Guest, not in the past several years, play on Dragonshire without playing 1-3-1, where you have one offlaner top lane, one anchor bot lane, and these are typically safe ranged heroes who are able to defend against pushes by themselves and have the range and safety necessary to exist in that bot lane by themselves. And then your other 3 heroes are all going to be in that mid lane. They clear mid lane as soon as it clashes, and then they roam either to camps, maybe they gank top, maybe they gank bottom. It leaves a lot of freedom, but Cavalier Guest particularly just loves his 1-3-1s on Dragonshire. I fully expect to see it here in this game. Waiting on a go-ahead from Oxygen Esports. Rage Quit Gaming is ready to get started right here. Let's see as we go into it. Oxygen Esports is ready, and we are just about to get started with our final draft of the day. And my white balancing on my camera is terrible. This is not what the room looks like. My camera is making this whole room look like kind of gray. Alrighty, we get into the draft of here. Rage Quit Gaming versus Oxygen Esports after Oxygen took game number 1 in a bit of a shaky game, but ultimately one that fell in their favor. Let's see how Dragonshire goes. I gotta say, 2 of the biggest plays of today so far, Mindhawk hitting that Kerrigan stun over the wall onto Ty's Lucio, and Bad Benny hitting that blessed shield over the wall in mid lane onto Peepo Shy's Hanzo. Fairly standard bans so far, Lucio Hogger. I believe this now completes all 4 games that Oxygen has played today, banning out Hogger every single time if memory serves. And I completely understand why. Heroes hella busted. Maiev going to be taken away by the members of Rage Quit Gaming. Not trying to play into that today. And a Junkrat as well will complete Oxygen's first 2 bans of the series. Or rather, of game 2. That's not their first 2 bans of the series. They had a previous game already. Now, Rage Quit Gaming certainly wanting to even things up right here on Dragonshire. But this is Oxygen's map pick, so you know they feel comfortable on it if they decided to take it here. Peepo Shy Uwu with the Sylvanas. Mindhawk Lucio kill over wall was nasty. Benny Blessed Shield over wall was cheeky, but I'm Kerrigan biased. Hey, man. Yeah, and also, the Kerrigan kill over the wall on Lucio was a solo kill, whereas Bad Benny over the wall with the Blessed Shield was just setting up for Nick, you know? I'm willing to say that Mindhawk kill was the nastiest thing we saw all day, but I definitely think that Bad Benny's shield over the wall was a close second, as that's a very early Chromie for Oxygen. Hasu Obs locking in Chromie alongside Bad Benny's Johanna, and I think that this Chromie is going to be the bot lane anchor. I spoke a bit before about how when Cavalier Guest coaches teams on Dragonshire, they typically run 1-3-1, and that one hero that they stick in bot lane is a long-range hero that is very safe. And I think that's exactly the role that Chromie is going to play, so expect to see Chromie camping out in that bot lane this game. Nubrak going to be banned out by Oxygen right here, not allowing Shizaka to play it. And I feel like Shizaka has shown a general tendency toward a Nubrak in these weeks that I've been casting Masters Clash. Rexar taken away by Rage Quit Gaming. Typically, if you're going to see a Rexar in competitive, it's almost always going to be on Dragonshire and Braxis Holdout. Rexar's ability to be a lane bully and literally be in two places at once is a big part of why he can control the contested points so well on those two maps, Dragonshire and Braxis Holdout. No surprises there to see it banned away here. Yrel picked up by Copenhagen as well as Karazim for Yasu. A bit of an interesting decision right there. Highly aggressive support in the rest of the composition, I would say, does not follow that same level of aggression. Let's see what Rage Quit Gaming rounds out their draft with here right now. What are they going to pick? We have Muradin Genji, a very aggressive divey pairing to round out the draft. I will say this is not the easiest backline to punish, though. Typically, when I think about drafting such aggressive dive, I don't think about doing it into Johanna, Yrel, Chromie, Karazim. Chromie is going to be too far back for you to dive. Johanna, Yrel are obvious non-kill targets. Karazim himself is rather slippy. He can always slippery. He can always either seven-sided strike for his own stasis. He can blade. He can dash right on out of there. And this is actually a double support comp. Solo DPS Chromie for Hasuabs, and that is the last thing I would have ever anticipated Oxygen last picking right here. Okay. Nick going to be playing the Suka of this game. I'm not 100% sure what's up Oxygen's sleeve, but hey, they're pulling it out right here. I want to see what they do. I don't even... What's going on here, chat? Honestly, what even is this? Honestly, I'm looking at the side of RQG, and the more I think about it, with Muradin, Genji, Sylvanas, I wonder if they're just even going to have the damage to kill any members of Oxygen Esports. Conversely, though, I look at Oxygen, and I wonder how they're planning on playing the macro side of the game here, with this team where their wave clear is Johanna Chromie. It's certainly going to be an interesting team, but we're loaded right on in here. I want to see what Oxygen does with this strat. And coming into this game, on the left side here, we have Rage Quit Gaming, No Game, No Life, going to be playing that Brightwing. Murnas on the Blaze. Pipo Shai Uwu playing Sylvanas, Shizakid on Muradin, and Limu on Genji. Meanwhile, on the right side of your screen, in one of the strangest comps that I've seen recently, 19CM aka Copen going to be on Yrel, Yasu playing Karazim, Bad Benny playing Johanna, Nick aka Hans on the Stukov, and notice, oh! He's taking a lot of damage right there. He does get the temporal loop. Hasuabs is going to be on that Chromie, but Nick already going down at the very start of the game, a mere 16 seconds into the action. Nick walked all the way up, auto-attacked one time, and then just got Shade CC'd and died. Absolutely crazy start right there. And I must point out that Nick had a ranged auto-attack. Notice that's a fetid touch right there. what we see from the Stukov, Chromie already going in to be this bot lane anchor, of course, at the same time. And this is a heavy rotation onto top lane from the members of Rage Quit Gaming. Yrel completely body blocked outside of her own base, and it's already a double kill in favor of Rage Quit Gaming at the very start of things, right off the bat. Absolutely wild opener to this game at the current moment. Rage Quit Gaming coming out swinging after dropping game 1. Peepo Shy Uwu getting started with an immediate capture of this bruiser camp right here after the successful 4-man gank onto top lane. Limu now holding on to bottom. Meanwhile, Oxygen taking their own sapper camp. Members of Oxygen now clearing bruisers as well at the same time as Rage Quit Gaming. Both teams taking all their camps available. Nobody on the neutral bottom camp just quite yet. Expect to see that change when some advantages start to materialize. Now, Peepo Shy Uwu simply just camping up in this top lane right here. Shizakid with the zoning as well tries to stun out Hasuwabs. Hasuwabs with the rotation all the way to top side. And this is a lot of heroes in the top half of the map right now. Hans with the big silence right there into multiple members of Rage Quit Gaming. Both teams have their bruisers available, but this is a 4-on-3 in favor of Rage Quit Gaming here in this top side. Shizakid looking to zone out the Johanna on the rotation, actually just goes mid to catch Soak, and now 4 members of Oxygen here compared to 3 on the side of Rage Quit Gaming. The flank continues onto Brightwing, who does not have Blink Heal at this stage of the game. No game, no life, banged into the wall by Yrel. Karazim, though, dying at the same time in that bot lane as well, thanks to Shizakid and Limu going on it. Both teams have level 4 talents. The push now from Oxygen Esports onto top lane. With their bruiser camp still available, still alive at the moment. Phase shift coming out onto Murina's top lane. Oxygen Esports, what pressure right there. Actually crazy, though, how they lost Karazim at the same time as soon as they thought things were okay. Bad Benny getting some good chip damage onto Limu in the mid lane. Yasu now trying to pressure onto bottom turn, and Shizakid will force him out. Limu, though, on the other hand, Limu gets flashlighted down. A little bit of Luigi's Mansion action coming out from Bad Benny will finish him off. 3 kills to 2 in the first 3 minutes of the game. Absolutely bonkers right here. Shizakid now walking away will get zoned out by the members of Oxygen, who very soon will now control all 3 areas, or rather both shrines, and look for a capture on mid if at all possible. Peepo Shy Uwu spending a lot of time here in this top lane. Ooh, there's Murnos landing a double stun onto the members of Oxygen Esports here in this top lane. We'll take out the entire top gate. And here is some pressure as well in mid lane. Limu tanking a 4th shot as he walks right on out of there. Peepo Shy and Uwu and Murina still looking for that top push right there before finally waltzing right on out. And here's a big rotation. Murnos with a massive jet propulsion onto multiple members of Oxygen Esports. Nick very low in the back, drops below 30 HP, but he's actually going to be just fine. He hits that tap and he is out of there. Now Oxygen Esports does control the shrines, but they're not able to convert this into a dragon just quite yet. Shizakid getting stalled out from attempting to take this back by the Chromie. Yasu not able to secure that early dragon. Ooh, here's Bad Benny, and yet another aggressive move onto No Game No Life, who gets isolated out. Yasuab's taking a lot of damage in the meantime from Shizakid. Will time stop himself to try and buy some time, as Chromie is going to be just fine, and Temporal Loop, of course, locked by the Chromie. Whenever you're into a support that doesn't give a hard unstoppable to teams a true cleanse, Temporal Loop tends to be very strong. Brightwing has CC removal, but she does not have a true cleanse. She only has a soft cleanse. And now some damage pressure coming out onto Shizakid in the bot lane, who receives a phase shift and jumps right back on into the action. And of course, as we've seen multiple times already, Peepo Shy Uwu with the push pressure onto top lane, consistently visiting that lane over and over. Hans getting the chip damage, but Yasu dropping very low will get finished off by Limu. And then here is a bit of a 2-on-1 in top lane, though, and this seems like a consistent pattern. We get a kill on one side of the map, the other team gets the revenge kill on the opposite side. However, because that gank went off, this does mean that Rage Quit Gaming will secure first Dragon Knight of the game. Bad Benny clearing out the wave behind the Dragon Knight, limiting the amount of push pressure that Rage Quit Gaming will be able to achieve with the Dragon. Without a wave, Dragon Knight's power is severely limited. And Shizakid and Limu pushing bot side. Here is People Shy. Oh, Bad Benny not connecting the Blessed Shield. Highly unfortunate onto People Shy coming out of that Dragon Knight. Temporal Loop comes onto Muradin, surprisingly, who is Blessed Shielded out. Muradin able to jump away, but not all the way to safety. That's a Haymaker. Muradin not able to Haymaker to self-peel all the way to safety, though, and what did I just say? You see a kill on one side of the map, you see the revenge kill on the other side of the map. Now, after dropping Urel, after dropping Muradin, Shizakid, Rage Quit Gaming able to go up into the top side of the map and finish off Copenhagen. Oxygen responding to losing their top fort by taking this bottom neutral bruisers. However, the pressure from Rage Quit Gaming continues as they actually steal enemy bruisers as well, with this invade now fully complete onto the side of Oxygen. Rage Quit Gaming with the timely invade, the top lane pressure from them has just been so prevalent this game. And now here's yet another temporal loop onto Shizakid. And hey, if you're a Muradin, you could even be an Avatar, and you're still gonna drop just as quick into that seven-sided strike right there. Muradin gets caught on the scouting. A great Blessed Shield from Bad Benny for the punish right there. Well done. Bad Benny trying to zone out Limu down here. Muranos does not connect with the jet propulsion, looking for Hasuabs and Nick. Nick finds himself in the middle of multiple members of Rage Quit Gaming, but he will be just fine. But what's Hasu doing over here? Hasu all out in the middle of nowhere. Will not be able to escape, will go down. 6 kills to 6 between the two teams. Level 13 advantage now, sorry, not advantage, equality between the two teams. Each team having 13 is now the situation between these two teams. Limu pressuring onto mid lane, getting onto 19 CM, completing that Shuriken Mastery quest after a few hits right there. Rage Quit Gaming has now quickly secured both altars off the back of finishing off Hasuabs on that attempted invade by Oxygen Esports. And here we see some pressure onto bot lane right now. Not able to find anything just quite yet for Oxygen, though. Limu starting to head down. Limu scouting out Bad Benny in that bush is able to find them. Copenhagen spotting the Muradin as well, looking for that middle dragon. If they can manage to get some CC onto Muradin to hold him in place for 7-sided strike whenever Yasu has it back up, that would be amazing, but Yasu does not have it up for 17 seconds. And now jet propulsion hits onto the Iron Skin Johanna, who of course is not CC'd because of the Unstoppable, but this does lead to kill pressure onto Bad Benny. They know he doesn't have Iron Skin, so he is a kill threat. Now Copenhagen, after the Haymaker, is next to be pressured by Rage Quit Gaming, forced to use that Ardent Defender. Oh, Stormbolt from Shizakid just barely doesn't land. And I want to say that that's the third or fourth temporal loop we've already seen onto Muradin. Peepo Shy Uwu taking big damage. Pustule does connect, but it's No Game No Life who falls in the meantime. Muradin now getting on out of there. A 1-for-1 between these two teams, but Johanna will respawn much sooner than No Game No Life will on that Brightwing. Limu and Peepo Shy Uwu both forced to back on out, and this will quickly lead to an advantage in these shrines for Oxygen Esports. Ooh, big damage pressure in mid lane onto Shizakid. Copenhagen keeping them in the lurking arm with the hammer. Hasuab's now starting to back off right here. There's yet another temporal loop onto Muradin, like seemingly every single cast has been so far. The members of Rage Quit Gaming forced to play in mid lane right now because they can't get another altar in time. I say that, we see Sylvanas heading for it now. Here's some pressure onto Shizakid, yet again going to single kill him. Hey, if they want to use 2 or 3 ults to do it, it's worth it to get that advantage. Yet again picking off Shizakid on the side of Oxygen Esports, and they immediately turn it into mid-push pressure. Meanwhile, Rage Quit Gaming capping both of the altars, but down a person. They might not be able to secure it. Yasu trying to dash right on out of there before dropping to Rage Quit Gaming. They're going to be just fine, and Oxygen getting a lot of damage onto this mid fort in the process. First fort of the game for Oxygen Esports is going to fall. Of course, they have already lost their top fort significantly earlier in the game. Sylvanas utilizing that Will of the Forsaken that she just recently got at level 16 to avoid the temporal loop will be okay. Hasuab's now, however, getting shredded by Limu. He does have 2 healers, though, so killing him is quite difficult. Gets inside the ice block, whatever it's called, for Chromie. Now Muranos is in the thick of things. Muradin trying to join in as well. 19 CM able to hop on out of there. Nobody dying just quite yet. Muranos looking for the capture. That's actually Shizakid looking for the capture of the mid Dragon Knight. Going to be able to get its second Dragon Knight of the game in favor of Rage Quit Gaming. Yasu working on the siege camp, but I don't know if they'll be able to get it. That's a Blessed Shield into the pustule. Oh, just barely. Not able to get it. No game, no life. Able to blink heal on out of there. Oxygen will secure capping these siege giants. Kick denied by Iron Skid, but now Bad Benny does not have it. Temporal Loop this time comes out onto Muranos, who quickly goes down as a result. 7-sided strike is used to follow up as well. 5v4, make it a 5v3 in favor of Oxygen Esports, taking out Limu in the process. And this Dragon Knight isn't going to do anything. So far, absolutely massive pressure from the side of Oxygen Esports right there. A huge time to get those 2 double kills, entirely negating any potential value of this Dragon Knight. And Oxygen is actually just going to push fort down during the opposing team's Dragon Knight, as they have nothing to be afraid of. Muradin is so incredibly zoned out with this dragon, at this point just sitting it incredibly far away. A half-level lead in favor of Oxygen Esports, who are looking to invade this siege camp if at all possible. It looks like they thought better of it and start to back off. Rage Quit Gaming starting their own siege camp at this time. Rage Quit Gaming will be able to secure this bottom bruiser neutral camp without too much of a fuss, as Oxygen plays it safe and takes their own bruiser. Bad Benny is nearby, not going to be able to find anything though. The members of Oxygen start to back off. Ooh, here's another pressure onto Shizakid. We've seen this before, and Shizakid absolutely melting in 7-sided strike yet again. They're going to keep doing the combo as many times as the members of Rage Quit Gaming allow them. Limu with the Blakitny X strike to escape. He starts to get on out of there. Agile dismount over the wall. He's going to be okay. And over and over and over again, this game, Oxygen, since hitting level 10, it's a simple combo. Blessed Shield on the Muradin, follow it up with Lurking Arm, follow it up with 7-sided strike. No one in the game can survive that kind of burst damage. Absolutely huge. Just taking Muradin out on CD right there, and you can see it. Muradin leading his team in deaths after that most recent pickoff by Oxygen. Half-level lead in favor of Oxygen Esports, but given that there are no camps and there were no objectives at the time, not a great way to push the objective, push the advantage for Oxygen. Now all 5 members of Rage Quit Gaming are back up. We're back to a 5-on-5 game. No cleanse and no avatar, just focus tank. Even if this was avatar, that Muradin could be an avatar for like every single one of these kills, and he still dies every time. That's how insane these burst combos are. Level 20 advantage will not be super long-lived for the members of Oxygen, as Rage Quit are soon to acquire it. Rage Quit would be absolute fools to get baited into a fight before they've secured their 20 advantage, just as Oxygen did earlier in their series on Cursed Hollow. And now Oxygen with a deep flank right here. Copenhagen also getting deeply flanked by Rage Quit Gaming. They're just trying to find each other. Rage Quit Gaming doing a good job of hiding until securing level 20. Ooh, that's a deep jump by Shizakid. Actually stuns Hans, but it gets immediately cleansed, and the counter engage from Oxygen sets up an instant double kill off of that Shizakid blind jump in right there. Might not have actually been blind, but still the response from Oxygen is absolutely massive. And at this point, Muranas is too isolated. He will go down and he will stagger away from his teammates. Oxygen already comes with a pre-pushed bot lane. They have a giant camp. They have a catapult. They're going to immediately look for, at minimum, the bot keep right here. The double support also means, of course, that their heal pressure, their sustain is going to be very hard to push them out of this push right now. 3 members dead on Rage Quit Gaming's side. Genji will be the first to respawn in 20 seconds. Murden will follow 1 second after. And I think Oxygen is only going to look for the bottom keep right here. Not quite the end. Instead, they're going to get a Dragon. Peepo Shy Uwu able to avoid the temporal loop with the Will of the Forsaken and able to Shade of Vengeance out of the second. Shade of Vengeance is actually a Maiev E. She's able to Shadow Wave out of the second temporal loop, able to successfully avoid the level 18 Chroming talent. Oh, but the time stop onto Brightwing almost sets up a kill. Brightwing able to blink out just in time to avoid what surely would have set up a game-winning play for Oxygen Esports. Now, 5-on-5 in mid lane, Oxygen Esports utilizing this dragon to push down mid keep. Limu receiving the phase shift. Dragon Knight is still here. Oxygen Esports waiting on their minion wave before they set up another push. And this Dragon Knight's actually heading over to top fort. Oxygen Esports doing everything they can to completely open up the map at this point in the game and just play passive and conservative. They know that this bottom lane pressure from securing that keep will go in their favor. Shizakid, you can see the members of Oxygen. They smell blood in the water. There's the temporal loop right there. No 7-sided strike coming out just quite yet. Second temporal loop cancels Muriden's jump at the same time, but he lets the double stun. Oh, but he still goes down. There it is. Muriden will fall, and Limu try to get on out of there as well. A chase onto mid lane. 5v4 in favor of Oxygen, who now approach onto mid. They're chasing it down. Bad Benny not letting anybody mount, but no, the rest of the members of Rage Quit Gaming will be able to escape as Oxygen sets up a push onto mid keep. Oxygen does not have a minion wave behind them, but they do have 2 supports that are able to keep their Johanna alive and healthy throughout this entire push, as well as Chromie's siege pressure right there. Bunker will be forced out from Blaze. Oxygen still having the 5v4 in favor of them right now. Temporal loop is back up by Chromie. Expect to see it used. There it is onto No Game No Life. Ooh, No Game No Life. Blink heals out the first time, but does not have another one. Copenhagen lands the hammer, not able to set up another kill. Shizakid will respawn in 10 seconds. Muranas hearthing on out. Ooh, does not get interrupted by 19CM because he interrupts it himself. And there's the Blessed Shield onto Genji. Sets up a kill by Oxygen. What a good timing to get that. Not allowing RQG even a single moment of even fights. No, as soon as the 4v5 is about to end, somebody else goes down. 7-sided strike, multiple hits landing onto Murden. Murden notably going for the tanky talent at 20, not for rewind, just trying to ensure that he doesn't keep getting deleted. And it's actually Karazim who will go down. Nick dying, and this is a 4-on-4 between these two teams. Member of Oxygen now on the retreat, walking away from Rage Quit Gaming. Hasuabs needs to reset his mana. Rage Quit Gaming, knowing they have the advantage, sets up the aggressive invade on the siege camp. Oxygen Esports looked fantastic up until the moment they lost Nick. You hate to see it. Now Johanna stepping forward. Johanna's Blessed Shield is down. Oh, Haymaker! Not quite having the distance to push Johanna all the way through. Sylvanas taking big damage in the backline. Wait, Sylvanas Blessed Shield. Sylvanas jumps forward nearly into their death, and it's actually Shizakid, despite even going as tanky as possible at 20, still going down. Wow, okay. The game of pickoffs continues as Oxygen just relentlessly hunts down Shizakid, who is now up to 7 deaths in this game. The pressure mounts as Oxygen Esports steals this siege camp. Oxygen definitely going to go for the Dragon Knight right here, utilizing their 5v4 advantage, and they're going to try to cap off this game with that dragon. Rage Quit Gaming heading on down to this bottom shrine. Bad Benny looking to interfere with Limu, trying to get it back. All Bad Benny has to do is step on this, and now the Dragon Knight shrine is entirely in Oxygen's favor. Hasuab's looking for the capture, will be able to be stalled by Muranas. And there's Limu jumping forward aggressively right there. This is still 5-on-4. Oh, Bad Benny not landing the Blessed Shield from out of vision. It is a waste. However, Sylvanas taking big damage over here. We'll get Tempora looped back in. One kill attempt doesn't land, but the other one does. Sylvanas going down. Oxygen, once again, 5v4 advantage in their favor. Yrel hopping over the wall. Dragon Knight's been secured. Oxygen is looking to finish this one out. Seven-sided strike yet again going on to Muradin. Even though he's got 75 armor, it doesn't matter into the percentage damage. Limu able to finish off Hanzo in the backline. However, Stukov will go down. 4v4 between these two teams, but one of these teams has a Dragon Knight. Limu able to blade dash on out. He actually gets run down by Yasu, just completely chasing him into the hallway. 4v3 in favor of Oxygen, and Oxygen's Dragon Knight is marching onto the core of Rage Quit. All Oxygen is trying to do is just stop the members of Rage Quit Gaming from being able to hearth at this point so that they can't defend against the dragon, which is hitting their core right now. Only Blaze able to back, but Blaze simply healing himself is not going to be able to defeat this Dragon Knight in time. And Oxygen has completed the sweep of Rage Quit Gaming. They just need a few more hits. There it is, right there. Shizaka goes down one more time for good measure to make it 8 deaths. Oxygen 2-0 over Rage Quit. Absolutely disgusting play by Oxygen right there. Wasn't sure exactly how the comp would work, but their ability to play so perfectly around their cooldowns. Okay, it doesn't matter if you've only got one damage dealer, if you've got a Kharazim, and you only fight when your ults are up. Absolutely stellar stuff from Oxygen. Well done, 20 kills that game. What a bloodbath. Let's look at that scoreboard. El Goose, thank you for the sub. Avatar 2 coming soon. That's what they said 10 years ago. We'll see. Why did Johanna pick Blessed Hammer at 13? I mean, it's just a really good talent. Like, you typically see a kind of mixture between the Q13 and Blessed Hammer's 13, and in general, I generally have seen people favor Blessed Hammers over it. It's a lot of extra damage in fights, and it helps you scout bushes, and it helps you chase and dismount. It's really good in general. Makri Shai Uwu. Thank you, Carl. Alrighty. What a series by Oxygen Esports today, and what a day by Oxygen too. Able to 2-0 both of their series right here, picking up 6 points this weekend, and they will have a break tomorrow as their game was moved up from tomorrow to today. Both Oxygen and Rage Quit not going to play tomorrow. Only 3 games expected on that day. Well done by Oxygen to take that 2-0, absolutely bullying Shizakid. A lot of these games in MC just come down to bullying the enemy tank, and we absolutely saw it right there. Can you explain the Brightwing build? No. Alrighty, let's go ahead and look for a raid target. Thank you so much for hanging out with me here today, friends. It has been a blast casting Masters Clash with you, and I'm really looking forward to building this vocal booth. That's what I'm going to go ahead and do once I get off stream right here. And I want to use it, but like I can definitely tell that I need to give my vocal cords a break after all that casting right there. Normally we only do 4 series, but 5 series today. Absolutely fun stuff. Let me go ahead and find you guys a new home.